Go.
A big topic in the country, 2020, is the electoral college. What does the electoral college do? Why do we need an electoral college? Do our votes even matter? And I'm here to answer all those questions for you. And I will be talking about what is the electoral college. So when you think about electoral college, you may think of a group of rich people that sit up and just say, "Oh, I support this person, or I support this person." But that's not the case. The electoral college is made up of a group of delegates from all 50 states that basically come to an agreement on who they think the presidential candidate for their state should be. Prime example: let's say Donald Trump gets the majority votes in Washington. The state of Washington's electoral college will say that the state of Washington endorses Donald Trump to be the next president for 2020. Also, make sure you go vote. Today is November 1st as I'm recording this. It's 2 days until election. Vote. Your vote does matter. But back on subject. When it comes to electoral college, they have come into a lot of controversy over the years because a lot of people think that the electoral college is basically a rigged system because the United States is the only country in the world that has an electoral college. And people may think, well, why don't we use the popular vote like a lot of people do? And like a lot of people be like, well, I don't know. Maybe the electoral college does make sense. When it comes to that, I'm gonna let you make your opinion off that. But the electoral college has been a controversy since the beginning of the electoral college, dating back to the 1800s when the 13 colonies were coming up with the Constitution. The southern states, which were pro-slavery, and the northern states, which were anti-slavery, couldn't come to an agreement on the Constitution because the northern states only wanted free white males, which were basically the slave owners or people that was working, to vote, and not women, because women obviously didn't have rights at the time. And that was a big controversy. And a lot of people was like, well, we didn't support this Constitution. But no, the electoral college decided on the Constitution, not your vote. So a lot of people, when they say their vote doesn't matter, they're thinking about the electoral college. But a lot of people aren't educated on the electoral college. And that's why I want to let you know the goods and bads about the electoral college. When the electoral college is picking people, obviously every state has a different amount of representatives in office in D.C. Prime example, a state such as Wyoming, which has the smallest population in the U.S. currently, only has one representative in D.C. compared to a state like Texas, which has 20 plus representatives. So that's why a lot of people, when they pick states, Wyoming votes counts more towards voting than in Texas because of population and representatives. And the electoral college in Wyoming doesn't count because it's just a regular state, a lot of people say. But a lot of states aren't regular states because you have this thing called swing states. And swing states are basically those states whose demographic change over time. Prime example, the biggest swing state that a lot of people have heard of if you follow the election is Florida. People think that Florida, well, Florida is just a regular state. It's just a regular state. It has a big population, but it's a regular state, obviously. But no, Florida demographic changes every 4 years. 1 year they're Republican, 1 year they're Democrat, 1 year they're anti-Republican, 1 year they're anti-Democrat. So things change over time in Florida. And Florida has had a huge impact on elections in the past, especially dating back to Bush and Hillary, because those votes were always the ones that came in last. And a lot of people was like, well, why Florida? Why Florida taking so long to do? Why we can't find out who the president is? Because Florida has a big pull in the election when it comes to votes. A lot of people think that it's rigged, but they have to recount votes in Florida because they don't want the election to be rigged. They want it to be a fair, a battleground because, obviously it's a debate. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or presidential candidates in the past, they're going to do whatever they need to do to win the election. So when it comes to swing states, other swing states is in Michigan, Utah, Indiana, states like that, they're swing states because of their demographic changes. So, yes. But a lot of states, they have always been Republican, which is the state I live in, which is Mississippi, which is, a big Republican state compared to states such as California, which is a big Democratic state. But overall, the electoral college, like I said, is a group of delegates from each state that elects the next president of the United States. Thank you. My references, theguardian.org, governmentarchives.org, and also usa.gov.org. You have a good one, okay?